Hello Capricorn, this is a timeless tarot quickie reading for you for the weekend, which sounds contradictory because timeless and weekend, so it might find you this weekend when I post it, but it could be that it doesn't resonate yet because I really like doing timeless readings and it doesn't exclude that it resonates with you at this moment. It could also be 50-50, that it is something that is in your mental space but hasn't materialized or manifested in your external life yet and could even take several weeks or months. So that's also a thing I'd like to point out. And I'm not just a tarot reader, I'm also a psychic. And just as an example, like 25 years ago, I saw my future apartment that I would live in 25 years later. And I saw all the details. And at that time when I had this vision, I was a child and I didn't even know that I would one day move to the city where this apartment is placed in. So that's just a thing about tarot readings and visions in general, that often they come without a proper time frame. And I have learned this especially about my own readings. I don't know, maybe for other readers it's different, but for me, I have made this experience that I should just be open about the timing, because I also have recently just remembered some 2-year-old tarot readings that I did, and I saw how they just started to unfold now 2 years later. So just take it as it resonates for you. I'm not saying it has to wait for 2 years until this is your topic, but it could be for some that this reading either finds you when you need to hear it, or it already finds you and it doesn't resonate yet, or it finds you and it resonates immediately. So I wanted this to be a quickie. I have talked so much nonsense already. Oh, and another thing, those are my own tarot cards. I made them, I call them the medieval oracle cards. So just let me get quickly into this reading. As in the previous readings I did, I have a very positive feeling about this one, even though it could contain some cards that could be perceived as negative, like the Goblin. In my tarot deck, there is no devil. At least in this deck that I made, there is no devil. But the Goblin replaces the devil, and it mainly shows up in a negative way. But of course, it depends on what cards it is surrounded by. And I feel like, I don't like to give people false hope, or, to tell people you will all win the lottery or become a millionaire. Not that this is not possible, but, I don't want to exaggerate things and, give people false hope. But there is something here about material stuff, about money with this Fortuna card. I mean, this Fortuna card, it doesn't have to represent only money. It can also stand for a really great opportunity, a job opportunity. I mean, then it would also in some way be connected to money, but it can also just stand, for something where you don't get any material gains from, but that is just a valuable experience in life, or a very pleasant experience. It could be a great opportunity to get to know a person. It could also be that you get an opportunity to do something that you always wanted to do, where you yourself have to spend a lot of money on, so you will actually, in some sense, lose money, but it's not a loss because you always wanted to do this, or, This card could represent so many things, but in your reading, I strongly feel for most people it is money. And it could also just be a small amount, but it is an amount that will make you happy. Even, you know, if you just find 20 euros or dollars or wherever you live on the street. But I feel like it's less a finding. It is a benevolent act of kindness. It could be a social act. It could be a little win. It could be a lottery win. It could be millions, but it could also, you know, you can also win the lottery. I think I once won 40 euros. I don't know how much 40 euros is currently in dollars. I think meanwhile it's almost the same. So, and I was happy about that. Of course, I would have been happier probably if I won millions, but I was already quite happy about the 40 bucks, you know. So, but very strongly I feel that this Fortuna literally represents a person that will give you a nice opportunity to increase your finances, even if it's nothing regular, like a new job or a constant payment that you will receive, or, you know, it could just be something that you receive once, but you will be happy about it. That's what I'm feeling. It will feel like a lot of good luck. And another energy that this card is giving me is that you might, when you receive this, question, not in an overly dramatic way, but you will just have this thought on your mind, like, maybe is this luck justified? Did this person who confirmed, maybe you applied for something and someone approved it and confirmed it, and maybe you will question their judgment, because, you know, Fortuna is also, you know, she has her eyes closed, and sometimes I feel like she's deciding from her heart space who deserves this luck. And sometimes I see it in a little bit more negative way, that she's literally, you know, blind, and she's just, whenever she feels like she's just blindly throwing this luck at someone who probably doesn't deserve it. And please don't get me wrong, I don't want to say that you don't deserve this. What I want to say is that you might think that of yourself, like, not because you're bad, but, you know, sometimes we look around and then we see other people whom we love or whom we appreciate having a lot of bad luck, and then suddenly out of nowhere something good happens to us, and then we sometimes might question this, like, is this fair? Okay, I'm going to accept it, I'm happy about it, but I have a little bit of doubt in my mind. So this is one thing that could be coming up as well, because right now I feel like you may perceive that this person she's benevolent, she means well, she wants to help you, she wants to do you something good, but you think like maybe she's also a little bit blind, or maybe it could be that you know that you deserve this, whatever bonus this is, but maybe she's giving you a little bit too much, not, you know, too much in quotes, so that you might question if that was her right choice. I know many people don't even think this way. Many people always think they deserve the best of everything and the most of everything. But some people don't have that kind of mindset. And yeah, if you're one of those people, then you might think about this a little bit. What do we have? Before I get into this unconscious and conscious pattern here, I feel drawn to the devil, because that's just completely what I was talking about, you know, this mindset that you might have that you don't deserve this, or you don't deserve the amount of it, or that you question this person's liability, this person's accountability, that maybe they overlooked something and they miscalculated something and they gave you more than you deserve actually, or more than you worked for. And you know, this might come from this goblin that replaces the devil card. Actually, you know, some inner demon, or you know, like a literal demon, could also be represented by someone who is actually a person in your life, in your environment, someone who constantly criticizes you and who's always envious or jealous when, you know, when you have some good luck, or also of your talents, or when you're successful with something. You know, some people are constantly either envious, or they truly perceive us as non-deserving, because I don't know, maybe it's a family member who has very high degrees and doctor titles or whatever, and you're only, I don't know, a nurse or something, or a cook, you know what I mean? Also only in quotes, of course. And then this family member might have always looked down on you, and maybe, you know, you open your own restaurant and it's really fancy and you can earn so much money with it, much more money than this academic person. And then they will feel like you don't deserve it because you don't have the amount of degrees they have, you know? Some people think like that. This is just an example. It could be something entirely different from you, for you. So I think this is just what this goblin represents, and that, you know, this constant scolding and criticism of this person has done something very deeply to your self-confidence and your self-worth, so that anytime something good happens to you, you might doubt that you don't deserve it. That's what I'm getting from these cards. And now I have to take my time. Sorry, give me some seconds, please. There is something that you are not aware of that seems to be quite unconscious within you on two levels: on the inner emotional level, but also something external that might suddenly show up for you that you don't expect. There's something about flow and movement and moving forwards. Sometimes we move forwards even though we didn't want to move forwards, because we thought we were fine where we were at, but then something is just moving us forwards. And not in a negative way. I don't feel like you will resist this forwards movement, but I also don't feel like you see it coming, or you wanted it to come. Like it just happens and it's fine. That's how it feels. And it's also, you know, an inner wisdom or an inner development that you're gaining. There's something like being like sliding out of a emotional and mental cycle that's finally over. But also, you know, externally, suddenly something is moving forwards, and it could even be that you are moving somewhere else for some of you, not for all of you. Just some more seconds. I'm waiting to see if I'm getting something else. No, I just feel drawn to this king card right now. Like this king, it could represent not your own energy, someone else. And I have a quite good feeling towards him. It could be a boss, it could be any type of person who works in a kind of authoritative position, someone who is in a position to approve or disapprove of things, and who does not misuse this authority that he has. Someone who is, because I'm seeing the king in a good light right now. Of course, the king can also appear as a negative card with the negative qualities of a bad king, of a selfish, greedy king, but he doesn't appear like this. And he appears like someone who's responsible, someone who's nurturing, someone who's protective of everyone. Doesn't matter with what position they are in, if they are his servants or his knights or the queen or the children, the prince, the princess, if they are baking bread or reaping, harvesting the ground, if they are making clothes, if they are a magician, if they are, I already said knight, everyone from the peasantry to the closest rangers around the king, if he is sincere and good at heart, he will care about everyone, and he will understand that everyone is fulfilling their task and no one is better or worse or less valuable, but everyone has their very important role in society, and that's just how it is. And everyone deserves to be well fed and respected. That's how I see this king right now in your reading. So this is not a bad king or a bad kind of authority. This is, and I'm not really getting if these two are actually aware of each other, and they both, it could be that both of these people confirm something or approve of something. It could also be that it's something that has to go, if it's something official, something legal, for example, it could be that it's something that is going through several steps, and in one step you first meet this person who approves of something, and then you have to go to the next level, to the next step or range, or I don't know what to call it, and then this person shows up and approves of the second step. I don't know how to say. It's also like this sometimes when you apply to a job, then you have like a test working, and you also have, they ask you some questions because they want to see, you have to sometimes go through several steps during the application, and several steps have to be, approved of. It's with many things this way, so I'm seeing two very sincere people here who don't have any bad intentions and who look quite supportive to me. And as I said, what you really have to work on is this goblin. If this is just a metaphor for you or something very literal and real in your real life, if there are abusive people around you who have really brainwashed you into, feeling negative anytime something good happens to you. I know some people just don't understand this, but for some people that's a reality. especially if it's something very good that's happening to you. And I think that this just means this situation, I'm trying to make it sharp, now we have it. This situation, it just might be a teaching for you, not in a, often when we go through a teaching or a life lesson, it's often hard lessons where something negative happens, but I think we can also go through those kind of lessons where something positive happens to us and we somehow feel like we don't deserve it or what's going on. I'm used to having rough life lessons. Why? Is this a trap? Is this a trick somehow? And then I think maybe this death card, it just means that this lesson might teach you to, trust into life again. Maybe the times of rough lessons are over. It could be a death of this goblin, of this brainwashing, conditioning that this goblin, this self-doubt that this goblin, that you just, it has no more, what I wanted to say is with death of this goblin, that it just has no more power over you. You will not listen to his voice anymore, or if you hear his voice, you will not take it to heart anymore. So that's how I feel about this reading. I'm feeling drawn to the bottom of the deck. It's not always the case. Sometimes I feel like I should just ignore the bottom, but you have the Queen card here. I think this might either be your own energy, even if you're a man, or just a third person entering this whole scenery. And I'm getting a good vibe from her too, like the king and the queen could all even be working together. Like for some of you, maybe all these three people are connected to each other and they're all supportive. And for others of you, it could just be three different instances that are all approving, supportive, and benevolent. So yes, that's a quite positive reading. I hope that resonates with someone and it helps someone. I wanted to make this a very short quickie, like up to 8 minutes, but now it's 22 minutes and 54 seconds. Oh my God. Yes, so I will leave it here. Thank you for watching.